a 3-year-old child, and we're going to save until they reach 18. We're going to stick $100 every month into this account, and imagine that it will give us an average return of 9% every year. Now, remember that in real life, you could get 20% one year and -11 the next year and 0 the next year. So this stuff fluctuates all over the place, but on average, it might be 9. And we're going to need this formula here, balance after T deposits. So our deposit is our $100. So I've got my Desmos scientific calculator up here. So I'm going to stick in $100. Let's have a look at that formula here. No, I can. Oh, there we go. Okay, so balance after T deposits. So it's this, and let me just zoom in on that a bit. Sorry. Okay, so our 100 and then times and 1 plus R, so 1. And it's a monthly interest rate. So before I do that, let's talk about the let's talk about the interest rate. So the interest rate is 9%, 0.09, but it's monthly. So it's 9% over 12, 0.0075. So 1 plus that is 1.0075. So I can do it that way, or you can do 1 plus as well. I'll do it the other way in a minute. And then you subtract, and the 1 plus R must have an exponent of T on it. And what's T? Well, it's the number of deposits. 18 years minus 3 years, that's 15 years where we're putting money into the account. And there's 12 months in the year, so 15 times 12. So we'll be depositing for 180 months, right? So it's that to the power of 180. That's our T, and then it's all over R, 0.0075, right? So at the end, by the time the child is 18, there should be almost 40,000 in the account. Now, question. How should we round that? Like think about, what I want you all to think about is, what is a good way to round this? Should we round this to the nearest cent, the nearest dollar, the nearest thousand, the nearest 10,000? My point is, what would make common sense? What is a good way to round this that would actually make common sense? Okay. So there's no exact correct answer, but let me give you some wrong answers. It does not make common sense to round this to the nearest cent, because like that 9% is totally arbitrary. I mean, like, your money is going into stocks and bonds in this investment fund, and so like it could fluctuate all over the place. I mean, you don't know it's going to be 9% a year. That's just an estimate, right? So to nearest cent is crazy, to nearest dollar is crazy, to nearest thousand is still a bit off. I mean, we should really probably round it to the nearest 10,000. That would make the most sense, and just call it 40,000. It's going to be about $40,000. So that's what I would do. And just to revisit that calculation, there are other ways. I mean, we could have done 1 plus 0.09 over 12, right? And on the bottom, that could be 0.09 over 12. That's another way of doing it, right? And that would give you the same thing. But I would say round to nearest 10,000, just because it kind of makes sense. Or I guess the nearest 1,000, like 38,000, would probably be good. So one of those. But definitely don't be rounding this stuff to the nearest dollar or the nearest cent, because this interest rate will absolutely fluctuate. That's just an estimate of what the average might be, right?